What's going on? So, in this discovery and had a real good conversation with my good old friend Drew. I had to give him props because we were talking about Bass Reeves, the Black Lone Ranger. And I'm sure there's quite a few people who know about it, but if they don't know about it, the Lone Ranger was actually black. Yeah, I know. Hollywood whitewashes everything, and if you put a Zorro mask over him, you don't know. But if you want to learn, you don't know. You better ask somebody about Bass Reeves, the Black Lone Ranger, who overcame slavery, came off the plantation in Arkansas, overtook his master, went to Oklahoma, where at the time Native Americans were running it, and he taught himself three languages, educated, enlightened himself, and became the first African American deputy sheriff department out west of Mississippi. But in between time, he was such a craftsman with the weaponry of his gun that he killed over 3,000 guys that were breaking laws, and he killed 14 outlaws. The interesting thing about this being a true rifleman and why he's the Black Lone Ranger, he never attained one single gun wound. And when you hear stories like this about Bass Reeves, it's amazing because the thing about it is being on slavery and plantation, you were taught not to learn the language, to be subservient, to be, submissive basically, just basically be like heck and call. So for this guy to be inspired was incredible. He had went back to Arkansas. He got married. He had 11 children. When slavery was abolished from 1855 onward, he was able to get into other forms and whatever until he died. But his life story is so mind blowing. What he overcame, what he saw, what he had to endure. He did detective work. He was, besides being the Black Lone Ranger, he was a Black Columbo. Any of the ones you want to mention, and I appreciated my buddy had, because I wasn't in tune or enlightened. I had heard, but I didn't know the depths. So when you find out that this guy was really, and the interesting thing is that they moved it towards where he was over the course of his life, and then they found a white character, and then they put it on TV and they whitewashed it, which they do in Hollywood. Because America to Hollywood whitewashes everything. They make you think that black people are one dimensional. They never showcase the intelligence. They never showcase the depths, the magnitude, the whole being. They just show you in one capacity. So when you find out that to read about this guy, how he transcended so much, what he represented, his skill set, his outlook on life, the ability to learn languages, the ability to translate, to do so many things in such a short window, the complexities, and to overcome and to be able to be so progressive despite all the obstacles and all the narratives being against you. You have to tip your cap. And I say Bass Reeves, you have to like, there's a statue of him, I believe, in Arkansas. I believe there's a statue that I saw, what have you. But this is the kind of guy, forget what they show you about the Lone Ranger and all that mess. Read up on this guy being the real deal. Read up about a guy that truly was about humanitarian and bringing the best. And talking to my buddy Drew, he mentioned a good point. He said when he died, there was like 3,000 people that came to his funeral. And what's so significant about that, this was a black deputy at a time when that was hardly unheard of. And then he attracted these throngs of people who respected his work, his creativity, what he was about, law and justice. So this is really something that's captivating to learn about. And history, again, tell it like I always say it. Schools don't teach you jack, especially when it comes to black history, beyond a certain handful of folks. They don't, they're programmed to keep it pro-European, anti-black. And when I say anti-black, I mean just like what I said, because they give you a couple of skips about Dr. King and Rosa Parks and maybe Frederick Douglass or something, and Cypress Addicts. Like they gonna tell you that Cypress Addicts was the first person killed at the Boston Tea Party, and I leave it at that. But they don't tell you the circumstances and the events and what led and how this the racial disparaging and how the political sides things were. But Bass Reeves, this was a very compelling. If you have if you got to talk to any of your friends or people you associate with, and they can enlighten you like this leaves you like flabbergasted because it's like, wow, this guy was truly incredible of what he endured and the skill set. Think about this. He didn't go to school for this. He learned, he understood being a marksman is something that you either got or you don't have. The timing and to protect yourself from not getting shot and you do all what he did and don't retain one wound. He was truly the Black Lone Ranger. He was forget Chuck Norris's Texas Ranger. This guy was the true Ranger. But they're not gonna teach you this in school. They're not gonna teach you this in the books. You have to find this out and figure this out. So I want to give Bass Reeves his due. All right, that's my take about Bass Reeves. Much props to my boy Drew for enlightening me. We had a great conversation about this, kicking it over some barbecue over the weekend. When you get with good friends and people can enlighten you and they put shade on some things, you get a new perspective. Feel free to leave comments. Feel free to subscribe and contribute whatever you like to on that. Like it, hit the subscribe, and the bell rings a new video. And I'm going to do some more reading. Peace.